lost my leg in 2018. I was a junior in college, a soon-to-be chemist, and a ballroom dancer. And suddenly my life changed. I went from non-disabled to sick and unable to walk for almost 3 years. And as I was in the hospital healing, it was those big things that I was thinking about. How's I gonna ballroom dance again? How's I gonna hike again? It was those things that I was mentally preparing myself for. But I was caught off guard, because before I could do any of those things, I had to learn how to shower, how to get groceries into my apartment, how to move a cup of coffee from one room to another. And it was these things that were most challenging, these easy things, because they added up throughout the day. One of the things that impacted me most of all was getting dressed. It was something that I had to do every day, but more than that, it was the first thing I had to do every day, and it set the tone. And with a prosthetic around my calf the size of a soccer ball, it was the first challenge of every morning and the last challenge of every night. I went through that phase when I was a kid that I'm pretty sure every kid goes through, that Egyptology phase, pharaohs and archaeology and adventure. And I was in it in the best time, because I was in it when everyone was hypothesizing how King Tutankhamun died. I was really hoping for like a dramatic murder mystery or something like that. But last year I had the chance to go to Egypt, and I got to see these sandals. Notice how these are 2 horizontal straps that go over the top of the foot. Later, it was generally accepted that this second strap existed because King Tut had clubfoot. And this strap helped him keep his sandal on while he was walking. This is perhaps the first example of adaptive clothing that we have in history. This is a picture of me cutting off the leg of my pants and stuffing it into my prosthetic because nothing would fit over the top. Take a look at what you're wearing today. Why did you choose to put on the outfit that you put on? Well, I'm going to a TED event, so I'm gonna put on my business polo. Or I'm gonna choose those pants that make my butt look really good. We all do that, but I can tell you that for most people with disabilities, the answer to why did you put on the outfit you put on today is because I could get this on. For the last 5 years, I've been building an adaptive apparel company. It's called No Limits with a B. It's me being a little bit cheeky as an amputee. And over the last 5 years, we've helped introduce adaptive as a category. Soon, it will stand alongside maternity, petite, big and tall. It's another filter to let you know that something is made for you. Adaptive clothing is clothing that's been designed specifically with disability in mind. And it has a lot of benefits. 1, an opportunity for self-expression. Not any different than traditional apparel. Your clothing is the first opportunity that you have to tell someone who you are without saying any words at all. 2, adaptive clothing can remove barriers. What do I mean by this? At No Limits, we developed one of the world's first adaptive jackets in response to a survey that said that over half of people with disabilities saw accessible outerwear as a barrier to participation in winter activities. But this barrier doesn't just exist in winter activities. It exists in clothing that you can wear on a date, in clothing for the gym, in clothing that makes you feel comfortable in a board meeting. And the 4th one is really interesting. This is where we're starting to do more research. If we can improve someone's independence and quality of life, can we thereby impact their long-term health outcomes? It's fascinating research. So it seems obvious, now that I've said it right, someone had the idea in 1350 BC. Why has it taken so long to get here? Well, adaptive clothing isn't exactly rocket science, but it does have some technical challenges. Let's use our wheelchair pants as an example. If you go to fashion school, you'll design clothing on the standing body. Clothing has been designed for the standing body for as long as clothing has been around. Think about the last time that you took your pants off at the end of the day, and maybe you had those little red lines across your belly. Maybe your pants are digging in even a little bit right now. That's because those pants were designed to look best standing. If you're a fashion brand, you choose from what's called fit standards. Fit standards are based on averages of the human population, and until now, people with disabilities have been excluded because they were not seen as average. So we have to recreate these fit standards to fit people with disabilities, not just wheelchair users, but across the spectrum of disability. And in fact, designing for the standing body is so ingrained in the fashion industry that when we posted this image to Amazon for our Amazon listings, they were automatically rejected. The model had to be standing. There's another challenge. One size does not fit all, and this is not something that the fashion industry is unaware of. But I'm going to walk you through a scenario. Say you've designed this shirt. It's the cutest shirt anybody's ever seen. Everybody's going to be wearing it. You're so confident in this design. We love it. Well, now you have to have this shirt be available in all of the sizes that your brand offers. Most clothing options are available in 3 to 4 colorways. We'll use 3 as an example. But here's where it gets tricky and adaptive. There are actually 7 distinct segments of the adaptive population that need their own features and benefits to be maximally impactful. I need something very different as an amputee than a wheelchair user needs, for example. And so when we multiply all of these variants by those number of adaptive segments, it creates a lot of variance. Each unique combination of size and color is a variant, and this becomes really difficult to manage operationally. It becomes expensive and complex. This is a real issue in our industry. But it's not unovercomable. I've talked about technical barriers to adaptive fashion, but what about societal barriers to adaptive fashion? I have what's called an osseointegrated prosthesis. What this means is that my prosthetic is implanted directly into my bone. Think of it like the world's gnarliest piercing. They took a titanium rod, inserted it into my tibia. I was hooked up to monitors and sensors. They analyzed my gait before and after. At the time, I was one of the first 2 people in the United States to have this done in a below-knee capacity outside of the VA. I have one of the world's most advanced, technologically advanced prosthetic devices on the planet. And I still wasn't able to wear a pair of pants. How could this happen? How could we miss something so obvious? Well, historically, accessibility has been in the hands of nonprofits and the medical community. And this is leading to a deeper problem. People with disabilities are seen as patients, not consumers. This is a really important distinction because patients need healing and consumers need solutions. Huge brands like Walmart, Target, and QVC are recognizing the value of this consumer because people with disabilities are real consumers. The disposable income of people with disabilities is $500 billion, expected to double in the next 3 decades due to an aging population. While these huge brands are recognizing this value, it's creating a flywheel effect in accessibility. Soon, adaptive won't be the exception. It will be the expectation. And it won't just be in apparel. It'll be home goods, shopping experiences, packaging, and beyond. I'm not here to say that we need more accessibility. I think that's obvious. I'm here to herald in a new era, one riding on the coattails of an inclusive size range movement. There's a new category coming to fashion. It's called adaptive. It's going to be incredibly impactful. And more than that, it's signaling a shift in how we think of accessibility as a whole, as an opportunity, not an obligation. Thank you.